Hello everyone, we are Manufaktura Języków Obcych, a language school from Bielsko-Biała, Poland. We've been operating since 2009. We teach the following languages: English, Spanish, Italian, French, German, and of course Polish. We'd like to invite you to listen to our students who talk about their passions and hobbies. Follow us on social network. Let's get started.
Good morning, everyone who's listening to us today. Our guests of today are Franek, Hubert, and Bruno. How are you guys?
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Today, we'd like to talk about fields and areas guys are experts in. Could you tell me something about your hobbies? What would you like to tell us about today?
I want to tell you about locomotives and their functioning and history.
My hobbies are computer games and sports.
I want to tell about programming, which I find really interesting.
Why did you choose these hobbies?
I choose programming because I think it's really interesting and useful.
How it can be useful?
It could be my future job. What's more, many devices we use for work are and will be programmed to help us in our lives.
Franek, the same question to you. Why locomotives?
Because I like trains and I'm very big fan of it, and I would be in future to become a train driver.
Okay. And Hubert, could you tell me why video games and sports?
Computer games gives you fun and make us smarter. And all sports are good for your health and make you stronger, of course.
Thanks. Franek, your hobby is unusual. So, do you know any interesting facts about locomotives?
I can tell you about the EU07 locomotive, was produced from 1963 in Wrocław in Pfalz. These locomotives are identical to the English EU06, but the English EU06 was produced for PKP by the English factories, but in the EU07 they improved the heating of the driver's cab with 300 volts. This production continued until 1973, then they started producing the ET22 locomotives, but in total they produced the 240 EU07 in Wrocław, but in 1983 they started producing the EU07 again in the HCP plant in Poznań. The new type was created on the basics of the two-section ET41 locomotive. There were many modifications and they produced the 243 EU07 locomotives. In 1976 and 1977 they added 3 EP08 locomotives to the EU07 series. In the 303 model was produced in HCP in Poznań. The many solutions were not removed. For example, the self-supporting box was embedded with the rocker beam, but the self-supporting boxes were replaced with boxes with a stiffener and sides were refilled. The new type of 7 is adapted to the installation of the automatic coupler. In the years 1990 to 1994, the locomotive's ET41 was rebuilt to the EU07 locomotives and additional cabin was added.
Wow, it's really interesting. And regarding programming, I've heard about graphic engines. Bruno, what are these?
Graphing engines are programs that help you in programming. The most famous are Unity 2D and 3D. With Unity 2D you make 2D games, and with Unity 3D you make 3D games.
Okay, fine, thanks. Franek, you mentioned that sometimes you watch trains. What are your favorite places you watch them?
My favorite place is Goczałkowice-Zdrój because there is many of cargo trains, but the intercity and regional trains are there too, and the trains was from many countries.
Okay. Hubert, I am really also a big fan of sport. And could you tell us about basketball rules, as you're a fan of basketball?
It's very simple. There are 2 teams of 5 players each. They play on the rectangular court, mostly indoors. Each team need to score points by tossing the ball through the opponent's goal. It's the elevated horizontal hoop and net called a basket.
Great. Thank you guys for sharing with us your hobbies today and all the information you have.
Goodbye.
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 See you. Thank you for listening to us today. We invite you to listen to our following podcasts. See you next time.